Well, let's get a wider perspective, African perspective on governance. Earlier, we spoke to international relations expert and former ambassador Boaz Mbaya, and here's what he had to say.
Good governance is very critical to Africa's development. It is also good in terms of best practices, so that resources are done and conducted rather transparently. Planning, programming is done transparently, and public participation is also done publicly, because that is a hallmark of what societies expect and how societies develop very quickly. Corruption is an evil that I think must be rooted out from African countries as quickly as we can do it. Corruption diverts resources from public purposes to private pockets. Corruption also hinders development strategies and planning. And I think it is important that all governments in Africa tackle corruption so that it affords the African countries the opportunity to develop economically as fast as we can. Conflicts are a curse for the African continent, because I think we are the only continent really where there are too many of them. And in fact, majority of the cases at the United Nations Security Council on conflict resolution come from Africa. So it's something that we need to deal with immediately. South Sudan, for example, if you take that as an example, is a case in point. About 7 years ago, South Sudan became independent, but it has degenerated into almost a failed state because of conflict. The same situation appears to be developing also in the DRC, and I think it requires all the efforts by the continent to try and address this problem so that we are able to afford people the opportunity to engage in meaningful economic activities when there is peace and stability in the countries.